Now in this exercise, we will see the life cycle of the iOS application development or the application life cycle. Now the app delegate is a class which gets created by the template. Now who creates the object of the app delegate? Now for the iOS, each application on the iOS device is an UI application object. So if you open the application, say project 2 or project 1 of application icon is touch, and object of project 1, which is of type UI application, gets created by the iOS. Now you need one particular object in your application which can listen to the OS callbacks. Like if there's some changes happening at the application level, so there should be someone in your project which can listen to the OS callback. Like if your application is about to go in background or your application is receiving some notification. So there should be an object which represents your application listener. So that object is represented by the app delegate. Now the golden rule says whenever you see a word delegate, you should understand that that object is a listener, means it will be implementing some callbacks and which will be getting triggered by the callee. Now in your app delegate class, if you see, there are some methods which are already created by the template. Now you don't know what are these methods. Basically these are the application state callbacks. Now you don't know which particular function gets called when. So whenever you want to understand the functional flow, the best way is to write the console output. Now like in C you have cout, in Java you have system.out.println. Similarly in Swift we have something called println. Now inside this println you need to provide the text. Now normally we do not provide hi hello world text. We normally provide the name of the function inside the println statement. So whenever this print application will get printed on the console, we will come to know that function application was getting called. Now similarly we'll be doing for the other function which were implemented. So we copy the function name, print them, same steps are repeated for the other function which were implemented by the template. Now once we are done, we'll run the application and we'll check which function gets called when. So we are done with this displaying of println. Now we'll run the application on the simulator, and when application gets launched, you see that some logs get created. Now first log to get print is application. So the first function which gets called is application did finish launching with option. Now do not concentrate on this parameter format. We'll see them in a next few exercises when we'll be creating our own function. And after the application function gets called, the next function to get called is the application become active. Now on your simulator, on your iOS device, we have one hardware button called home button. Now my MacBook Air is not a Retina. So iPhone 4S is a Retina supported simulator. So if you run this iOS 4S simulator, you will see that simulator screen coming on it. Now if you want to simulate the hardware button home press, you have to press Command Shift H. So when you press Command Shift H from your keyboard, it acts as a home button press. So when a user presses the home button, the function which gets called will resign active and application did enter background. Now suppose the user, when a user wants to resume the app, so the user will double click on the home button. So when you press Command Shift double tap on the edge, you will get your multitask panel. And when you click on the application, you will get application will enter foreground and application did become active. So this basically is a typical life cycle of the iOS application where you will be first clicking on the icon. So on a first launch, your application function gets called, then application did become active get called. When a user presses the home button, you get application resign active, and then you have application did enter background. When application is a background and a user double click on the home button to get the background processes application list, and when you click on your application, you will get will enter foreground and did become active. Now this is a typical life cycle demonstration, and these functions are implemented by the template because this is a bare minimum callbacks which an iOS will give to your app delegate, because this is a typical life cycle flow. Now, where these functions are declared, how they are getting called back here, we will be discussing in the next exercise, where we will be discussing about the protocols in detail.